And a big thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring the KRIM Community Spotlight Program. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday to everyone out there. Yes, it is Friday. Woohoo! Time for the weekend. Time for the Farmers Market. Payson Farmers Market, just one of the many events going on this weekend. If you haven't been out there yet, make sure you get out there. It's National Farmers Market Week, so reason to celebrate. Hey, this morning we are getting back to doing a program that we started earlier in the year that I was real excited about, and that's our Longhorn Spotlight program. And this morning in the studio, we have a couple Longhorns with us, an instructor of construction technologies, Chris Harold, and also a former student, Chris Wheeler. So good morning to both of you guys.
Good morning, Chris.
How are you doing this morning?
Good. Great.
Hey, and looking forward to talking to you guys because there was something recently, Mr. Harold. I'll go with Mr. Harold and Chris because three Chris's in the room. This would be confusing if someone came in here. I tell you what, too many Chris's. Not a bad thing, but
not a bad thing at all.
No, just confusing. But you were recently in Atlanta, Georgia. And I know I don't want to get too much into this because I want to talk about the program, but in Atlanta, Georgia for a Skills USA national, or was it international?
It was national.
National competition.
Absolutely. So, yeah, Chris here was part of a 4-member team that won a state competition back in April down in Phoenix and competed against schools from around the state that build a project which is similar to building a tiny home. And they have 2 days, and they have to complete a framing portion of it, electrical, plumbing, and masonry. So it's the 4 major skills in general construction, residential construction, and these guys did a great job at the state contest. One down in Phoenix in April, and then that qualified us for the National Skills USA competition in June back in Atlanta.
Yeah, so before we get into that, because I want to talk, I guess first a little bit about the program, and how long you've been instructing, in this program, and just kind of the history of it a little bit. But that's amazing. That's amazing that you guys won the state competition, that you were the best in the entire state of Arizona.
Yeah, I was super proud. I had just 4 great young men that competed on the team at the state level, and these guys put in a lot of extra time outside the classroom to be able to do that. So it took a little more than just the time that they had in class. But they spent numerous days just getting ready for this, and I was proud of them for that. Their self-motivation and want to do well at the competition.
Yeah. So let's get into, I guess, the history. How long has the school offered construction technology or this program?
So the building trades program has been around forever.
Okay.
I'm a Payson High School graduate.
Yeah.
And Forrest Wagner was my building trades teacher. Here at Payson High School. We've had many good teachers over the years. I shouldn't probably say many, but Forrest Wagner was my instructor. There was a gentleman that came out of the NAU program, Scott Overton, that was here for a couple of years, and Richard Alvarez, as most people in town know, was there just prior to my arrival. He was there for a number of years. So but yeah, I've been at the high school for 10 years teaching the construction tech program.
Wow.
This is my 10th year.
Yeah. So Chris, why did you choose to take the construction technologies program?
So my freshman year, I had the choice between autos, culinary, and then construction, and a few other electives. And I was like, I want to do something with my hands. So I was like, I'll try out construction. Little did I know it'd become one of my favorite classes. And I just got to do things and build anything I wanted or learn skills that I didn't know previously. So.
Yeah. Now, before that, did you have any experience in any construction trades?
Not official experience, but I did have a slight knowledge of how to do basic things. But this did help refine me in construction itself. So.
Yeah. Now, we should let everyone know, you actually graduated last year, but you graduated early as a junior?
Yeah, I graduated early, so in 3 years. I know that took like a couple extra classes I had to take, but however, I did take the construction program all 3 years. I am regretting it a little bit not staying for the fourth to be able to take some classes again, but however,
Yeah.
I still learned a lot in those 3 years.
You're very modest because, it took a couple extra classes. I think it takes a little bit more than that to graduate as a junior, doesn't it?
There's the 22 credits that he had to earn, so there's a little bit extra. This young man is just a phenomenal young man. Going to be successful in any avenue that he goes down. He says he refined some skills. He was the lead on our Teamworks team at nationals, state and nationals, and the electrician. But he was really the foreman of the crew as far as laying the project out and leading.
So wow, that's awesome. That is great. Now the 4-man crew, the other members, who were the other 3 members of that group?
So we did have a substitution at nationals, but at the state level, it was Chris. He was our lead and carpenter and electrician. We had Jesse Powers, who was a senior and graduated. We had Jace O'Connor.
Okay, yeah.
And also a student who's still in school, who was only a sophomore last year, Hunter Martinez.
Oh, wow.
So
okay. So Hunter, the only returning member of that team.
Yes.
Okay, that crew. Gotcha.
So then, at the national level, Jace decided to start his summer job. He had gotten a summer job with the Forest Service fighting fires, so we had to substitute him with Luis Tablas Tapia, Freddie, as most people call Freddie. But Freddie was a great addition to the team. He was one of my top bricklayers in the program the last couple of years, so he did a great job coming in and filling in for Jace.
And one of the reasons I love that we have this Longhorn Spotlight program, and that we're able to bring it back, and a big thank you to Lowry's Window and Door actually sponsoring this program. Faith and Bobby Lowry, big supporters of the community and youth in the community, but it's to highlight the youth. And it's amazing, just listening to this. One of our members, Jace O'Connor, he went to do a summer job, which is firefighting, wildland firefighting, right out of high school. That tells you just the drive, the caliber of young man he is to do that. And now Chris, sitting here talking with him, graduating as a junior, all of the work that you had to put in, the dedication. We have exceptional young people in our school. I mean, you don't win a state competition if you don't have great students that are driven and motivated, and also great instructors. So my hat's off to you, Chris, and all the other teachers and instructors and coaches that just are phenomenal at the high school.
Well, thanks, Chris. We just try to make these young people the best that they can be.
Yeah.
And I was super proud when we were at nationals. When we were going to nationals, I thought if we could just show well, I would be really excited and happy about it. But when my 4 kids started competing, I went, guys, you're in the running for this to win it. After the first day of competition, I was really impressed with how well they did and performed at that level. Because some of the programs we compete against, those schools back east, they have trade schools where the kids go to their construction class for 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
Where I get these guys for 55 minutes a day. 4 days a week now.
Wow.
And they performed as well as any kids in the country. So I was really proud of our group, and I shared that with all of my students back here, so they understand that they're as good as any kid in the country right here in Payson, Arizona.
Yeah, and that's amazing. That's an amazing testimony to our young people, to our community, because it is really a community effort, the support you get from the community. And why don't you share, because you have businesses that sponsor the program, people that sponsor your program?
Absolutely. There's a number of community people, and I hope I don't forget any. I'm just going to throw
Yeah.
Payson Concrete, George Randall has been huge in our program. Roy Hott Excavating, RNK has been big. I have an advisory board that has numerous community members over the years. I've had Bob O'Connor with O'Connor Heating and Cooling.
Yeah.
Eric Santana from Santana Homes. I've had Matt Roberson with Top of the Rim Plumbing.
Wow.
Just numerous. Josh Parks with Sunshine Cleaning and Restoration he jumped on board the end of last year, and a couple other that are coming on that this year that I've already talked to that they're interested in getting involved in the program, and we're just trying to make these kids better, because I'm not a specialist in all the areas. I know the basics of electrical and plumbing, but like this year, my father-in-law is a retired electrician, Gene Mobby. He came in and worked with Chris, and Chris had the nicest wiring at the national, level-wise. He had the best wiring of any state winner
in the nation.
In the nation. So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
But Chris, as a testament to him, he came in and spent a week extra in the summertime before we left for nationals. He had 4 days in working and just honing his skills to show well at nationals, and it paid off. I mean, we finished 8th in the nation at that competition. So
wow.
So it was great.
And so, Chris, what did it mean to you seeing all of the support and getting all the support from different community members?
So with all the support, it definitely it shows an impact, because without all the support, we wouldn't have had the materials to help build the project, because we built a couple mock-ups of older plans, and without that, we wouldn't have been able to even get to the level we are without the practice itself. So all the support, and I know with funding to even go on our nationals trip, that was a decent amount of money, but people were able to step forward and help support that as well. And I believe all the support from the community has helped. I know many people, not just the nationals team, but the whole construction class or any other of the classes, the elective classes, they've helped support the whole school itself and allowing anyone the opportunity to learn if they're willing to learn.
Yeah, the CTE courses. The CTE courses we have at the school, they are, have shown to be some of the top, and have been the top in the state.
Yeah, we have some great programs. The agriculture education program, the culinary program. We have a new engineering program this year. The marketing program, the tech theater. We just have some great programs. The automotive program, we have a new teacher. This is his second year. He came from down in Antelope, down in the Yuma area, where they are strong in the Skills USA, CTSO, and he's doing great things with the kids at the high school right now. So it's really exciting.
Wow, it is. Again, if you're just tuning in, talking with construction technologies instructor at the Payson High School, Chris Harrell, and former student, graduated last year, Chris Wheeler, but again, graduated as a junior. So, golly, that's impressive, Chris. I just can't get over that. And now you're looking at joining the Air Force. That's your goal, is to join the Air Force?
Yeah, correct. I'm going through the medical process right now to be able to get qualified to go in. So.
Gotcha. And what had you? Did a recruiter identify a career? Did you pick a career? Or?
So I have a list narrowed down, but I don't know until I get back from the medical of exactly what job I'll have or the options I'll have from there.
There you go. I'm kind of partial to being in the Air Force, so I think you're making the wise choice there, going into the Air Force. Again, wanted to talk a little bit about the program and the different skills, construction skills that you teach, Chris.
So yeah, we the program is designed basically to cover residential construction. So we start at the ground up, masonry, carpentry, electrical, plumbing are kind of the basic areas that we cover.
Mhm.
We learned at nationals that we need to cover a few more because when we got to the national competition, we had to do siding and roofing and
Oh, wow.
you know, a little bit more. But
Gotcha.
but these guys did well, you
Yeah.
know, adapting and overcoming, and they had to learn a little bit on the fly, but in our preparation right before the competition. But they did great,
Mhm.
and you know, it's just hard to get all of that taught. You know,
Mhm.
trying to you don't learn to lay block in a day or
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
a month even.
Yeah.
You just don't get that
Yeah.
good.
Like you
So-
said, it's just a 55-minute class.
Yeah.
So it's not like a program like some of these other schools where 3-4 hours a day are dedicated to that.
That's correct.
And it's funny because I think I mentioned to you last time I saw you that I have a friend, Jim Wables, graduated with him back in Pennsylvania, and he's an instructor at one of those schools that you mentioned, where I thought it was for adults. I thought it was like after high school, but then I saw that he had high school students that are in his program, and he was at nationals with the heavy equipment. He teaches heavy equipment operation, and I thought, wait a minute, this is interesting. He has high school students, because I thought it was just like a tech school, but they also allow the high school students in there.
Yes. Yeah. It's they have separate competitions for secondary students, the high school age, and post-secondary, which is the community college, university
Gotcha.
students, or trade school. You know, if they're in a tech program or apprenticeship program, they can still compete in Skills USA. So,
Wow.
yeah, and it's a wide variety of events. You know, from construction, they have. Not in Arizona, but
Mhm.
in other states, they even cover culinary and some of those other programs, so within Skills USA.
It's very interesting. So, what's the competition? I want to talk a little bit about that with you,
Yeah.
Chris. How was it? What did you guys, your team? What was the feeling after you won the state?
So we were kind of in disbelief when we won the state because they announced us as third and first, so we thought we just got third.
Uh-huh.
We're like, oh, we're good with this, and then we ended up like in the end they're like, hey, that's not right, because we didn't even realize it till we got off the stage that we weren't actually first. We didn't know until we were leaving, and about near Payson we got an email saying that we actually received first, so we're kind of celebrating in the van back.
Wow, that's an interesting way to start. Finish that, I guess.
Oh yeah, at the awards presentation, there was a mix-up on the slideshow, and yeah, like Chris said, they announced us as third place,
Uh-huh.
and then they announced Snowflake as second place,
Uh-huh.
and they announced Payson as first place again. But they had called another school up, Tonopah Valley, out west of Phoenix. They were called up on stage for the
Yeah.
presentation. So they actually took the gold medals and
Yeah.
went running, you know. So
That's funny.
but we got it, you know, at the end, you know, all the instructors like who really won.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the scores; they'd already been sent back across town over to
Yeah.
the Department of Ed offices, and so they got back with us an hour later and let us know that we had won, and the boys were pretty excited on
Wow.
the way home. So
Yeah. So it was only the first place who won state that went on to nationals.
yeah, you have to win state, you know, to qualify for nationals. So.
Wow. So then, how much time, Chris, was it between winning state before you headed off to nationals?
So I know nationals was in the summer. It was in July, I believe.
Okay.
And then the state competition, it was during the spring, I believe.
Mhm.
So I forget exactly what the date was, but it was a few months between
Gotcha.
the two competitions. But
Mm-hmm.
so we had to like prepare in between that. So
Mhm.
it was hard because like we had finals the whole month of May and all that. So it was a whole bunch of. It's hard to learn more skills in the month of May, and then we
Yeah.
had summer right after that. So like it required our own time to put in to be able to be
Yeah.
at a competing level.
Oh, yeah. So you guys, I mean, and I know you've said this multiple times now in this program, but there was a high level of dedication by these young men.
Oh yeah, these guys would come in and spend 6 to 8 hours on a Saturday or You know, sometimes in the evenings they would come. They would meet me at the shop at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and they'd work for 3 or 4 hours. And for most of them, they all had jobs already.
Yeah.
So it was, they were working their job. They'd get done working, and we'd come straight to work some more.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was.
Yeah, so again, I just I love, and I hope there's a lot of people listening, watching. We're streaming as always on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. But this is a great opportunity for those in the community, maybe that don't have children in the school or in the school district, and you hear about our youth of today and how they're not motivated, they're lazy, this and that. Well, I can tell you there are many and plenty examples of young people in our community that are very motivated, very driven, and excel. Excel. We have state champions here, a state champion construction team that went to nationals and finished 8th in the entire country. And it's not because they're lazy, they're these millennials or whatever. I mean, they are dedicated, driven young people. And that's great.
Absolutely. I hope the community understands that we have these programs because with some of the recent elections that we just had, I have heard, some stories like, we need to get these kids involved in trade and tech programs. We need this at our high school, and it's here.
Yeah.
It's here. I have a great number. My classes are almost too big this year, Chris.
Wow.
I have over 20 kids in every class. I have 30 in one class. My second year program kids, 30 kids in it. So I have almost right around 110 kids in the program, maybe a couple more right now. But,
Gotcha. So, and to give an example, a student that comes out of your program, and if like Chris and his fellow crew members, that are devoting that much time, or even if they're maybe not devoting that much time, but if they're really committed to the class, when they graduate, it sounds like they have the skills to go out and go to work for a company, and are they able to contribute right away?
Oh yeah, these young people, they do amazing things. The ones that really are devoted to the program, they go out and they make good money right out of the program. One of the certifications, like Chris got the OSHA 10 certification. It's a 10-hour class, basically teaching him that he knows how to be safe on a job site.
Okay.
So he's earned that certification. We offer another certification through the NAVIT program. NAVIT sponsors us, and it's this NCCER certification. It's a nationally recognized certification, and it takes about 80 hours of classwork to pass 8 different module tests or chapter tests, basically. But it teaches them basic safety on job sites, how to handle tools, hand and power tools, material handling, how to handle stuff safely, and it's a pretty big deal. A lot of the larger contractors, they've shared with me that if a kid had that certification, instead of starting them at $16 or $18 an hour, they're going to start them $2 an hour more for having some certifications.
Wow.
So that's a big increase. To make $4,000 a year more to start.
Yeah.
That's
to be able to get that certification in high school.
In high school, yeah.
In high school.
And not cost them anything.
No, yeah. No, that. So, have you ever thought, Chris, of continuing in the trades, making that an occupation?
Going into the Air Force, I was thinking if that doesn't fall through entirely, if something were to happen there, I might become like a electrician possibly, because that is what I specialized in for the competition itself. But I do find an interest in that field. So
yeah, and if you're an electrician or a company that's listening, he did have the best wiring in the entire country. So I mean,
amongst the high school kids.
That is quite an accomplishment, man. Congratulations. That's a real testimony to all the hard work and dedication, that you put in, Chris, and the crew, the team. Very inspiring, and I'm sure your success really has inspired these other students to join the class, and they want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really cool to see.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
No, yeah, no, you're very welcome. So, man, so with a full class, I mean, do you see any maybe possibility of it expanding, or it could grow?
I don't know that we can grow too much more, Chris, without adding a class. And if it gets to that point where we have to do it, I would be willing. If I had to teach a 0-hour class, we would do that,
Yeah.
That would be the hour before the official school time starts, which there are some, sometimes that happens, but I've yet to have that problem, but we're borderline now, and we're limited. I mean, we only have 700 students, and we have several different CTE programs, so.
But I look at, it makes me think of like the FFA program, and you look at, oh my gosh, the instructor for the FFA, the building.
Wendell Stevens.
Wendell Stevens.
Yes.
And how he built that program.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. And now they have a building. I could see a construction building. And that expanding, because there is a national need.
It's huge.
For the trades. Yeah, and if, it can start in high school, and we can be developing and growing, young people to go into these jobs and into the trades, have certifications, the experience competing. I mean, that, gives so much confidence. I'm sure, how did you feel? I mean, after winning state, going to national, did you, confidence? I don't want to say cocky, but just, you were more confident?
Yeah, I would say I was more confident. Like, it gave me something like, oh, I can accomplish this if I just work for it. Like, put in the time, I felt like I could figure anything out.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, so it's great. I could, see that. That's, it is really cool that that this is being built, and you're building this. You have the students, and they're buying into it and putting in all the time and the effort into the program, and seeing the results.
Yeah, and I think I have some really good kids coming up in the program that have an interest in it. So I'm really optimistic right now. Especially not to drag on the past, but COVID was brutal to kids being out of the classroom for a year and a half. And I think, after being back in school for a year, I think we're finally getting back on track and back in it. So the kids are doing a great job. They're willing to learn again. And it's not such a struggle to get them in the classroom. So
yeah, I think and it's not to bring it up. It's just a reality. It's how it was. But I think it really shows the resiliency of our students, of our instructors, our teachers, the faculty, and our community. Very resilient to say, okay, that happened. Let's move on. Come on. We still we got a life to live. We got to keep moving on. So here we go. And make the most of it, make the best of it. So and this is a great example, I think, with you and your crew to win state and then go on to nationals and finish 8th in the nation. That is great. So hey, well, there you go, 30 minutes like that. Thank you so much, both of you.
Chris, thank you for having us on this morning.
Oh, you're so welcome, Chris. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having us both here.
Yeah. Oh, you're so welcome. And I think I can say that this is the first time that every person in this room is named Chris. So it's a first.
So Chris, there's one thing that we normally end off with at the high school, and it's great to be a Longhorn.
It is great to be a Longhorn.
It's definitely great to be a Longhorn.
There we go. Thank you. That is so true. And again, thank you again for taking the time to come in today.
You bet.
Really appreciate it. And thank you everyone for listening and watching online. And again, thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring our Community Spotlight program, and to Lowry's Window and Door. A big thank you to Faith and Bobby for sponsoring this Longhorn Spotlight program, and for all they do in the community. Well, it's time to get back to the music with some America, Leonard Skinner, Fleetwood Mac, and more But first, like some of those bands? Do you recognize some of those bands,
Yeah,
Chris?
all three.
All right, you've been taught well. There we go. But first, let's get a quick update from the National Weather Service. So there we go.
Pretty good. I was like, what are we gonna